Well, welcome to Sipping Sense Sips and Swigs, a monthly edutainment podcast designed to introduce you to intriguing and unique people and innovations in the wine world. My name is Stephanie Brown, your host and author of Sipping Sense, Uncorking the Flavors of Wine, Entertaining, and Healthy Cooking. And today I have the pleasure of having a conversation with Chrishon Lampley of Love Cork Screw from Chicago, Illinois. Chrishon is a trailblazing entrepreneur and the founder of Love Cork Screw, a Chicago-based wine and lifestyle brand she launched in 2013. She's a negotiant, a rare role in the wine industry. She has broken barriers by becoming the first African American woman in the Midwest to take a wine label national. With her products now available in over 1,800 retailers nationwide, including Target, Whole Foods, and Total Wine, her journey into the wine industry has been amazing. She began her journey after a devastating flood destroyed her art gallery and wine bar, 3Ps, on Christmas Day. Transforming adversity into opportunity, she started a blog and a radio show titled Love Cork Screw, which eventually evolved into her wine brand. With over 2 million bottles sold nationwide, Love Cork Screw continues to redefine the wine industry, promoting inclusivity, sustainability, all while offering products that resonate with a diverse audience. Welcome, Chrishon, and I'm so happy to have you with me today.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here with you.
So I just kind of gave a summary of your experience around in the wine industry, but tell us a little bit about your career before wine, and then share with the audience what experience or event that actually said, that's what I'm going to do.
Sure. I would say sales and marketing was the main part of my career that really launched Love Cork Screw. I'd come out of college, went straight into high-end retail, where I had large books, $3 million books with the upscale Escada, Omega, all the large fashion houses. And I went from being in sales to eventually being in general management. And I was sick of making money for everyone else. While that sounds, lovely and fancy, it's still not, I'm not taking home $3 million, right? So I decided that I wanted to take what I consider my skill set, which was people, and turn that into something that made sense. Well, the experience though that I had working for these upscale fashion houses was not only hanging with these amazing clients and seeing how they operate, but actually going to these restaurants that they would be at, and it would be amazing how they were making these business deals over wine. And I was young, and to see that happen, I'm like, this is sexy, and whatever it is, it's elegant and it's sophisticated, and I don't know anything about it, and I want to touch it. I don't get it. And fast forward to I started an amazing art gallery, as you said, with a business partner of mine, and we actually won Chicago's Best with the best wine list. And I wrote that wine list in 2009. So it was people, it was finding out that I had a good palate that I didn't even know I had. I worked in distribution as well. So I then worked for a distributor here in Chicago, had over 250 accounts. And it was getting the same answer all the time, that people wanted to support small batch. They wanted to support additional wine brands, not just the ones that they always go to. And I didn't see anybody that looked like us on this side. So that's the quick story of just touching sales, marketing, people, seeing the beauty of wine, and how people just break bread, and just was very inquisitive about, like, I didn't understand it, and I had to touch it and understand it. And I just drove, flew to different vineyards, started talking to winemakers, and started educating myself. So it was very much grassroots in education.
Yeah, no, God, I hear you. I hear you. So, teaching yourself about wines, knows easy feat. I did it too.
And
Back when people like you and me weren't even in the industry, and that
right.
in the early 2000s, and you came along a little not too far after that. So you know what it was like back then,
Yes.
walking in a wine store and being ignored and, all of the above.
Yeah, there was no WSET online. Like
Yes,
all of that. Like this was like it was literally grassroots and this
right.
almost like it felt like a fraternity, right? That they have to even let you in to tell you about it.
Correct, correct. But during that time, the industry was really looking for a way to expand because they weren't making a whole lot of money just off of collectors, male collectors, and they needed the female industry, I mean, female consumer. They needed and they needed a broader consumer base in order to actually be successful. So it was a good time.
Yes, it was.
And you
Yes,
came
it was. It was definitely a good time to come up in the industry. Yes, it was.
what was going on in the industry, especially the U.S. industry at that time. So you talked about your wine bar, which I just can think that's based on what you just told me about your background. I can imagine it was beautiful. I can imagine it was elegant. I can imagine you were trying to actually really educate folks coming into the wine bar as well as having them have community. And it got destroyed by a flood. Was it a weather flood?
A flood. So no, it was caused by baby wipes. Imagine that. So the condo owners above us had twins. They flushed non-biodegradable baby wipes down the toilet. So we were in a storefront. So when I walked in Christmas Day, I was walking in 2 inches of sewer water. It was an actual explosion.
Wow.
So it was really bad. It was during a time where, and I'm really kind of aging myself right now, but where like we didn't understand, you had dram shop insurance and didn't understand what certain things covered and didn't cover and didn't find out that our coverage didn't cover baby wipes. And it was just a mess. We had an SBA loan that was connected to personal property. It was a mess. And it was sad because we were written up the front page of the Chicago Tribune in the lifestyle section of the coolest thing. Our art gallery was known. Outside. We had actually literally an artist who's a worldwide artist known now. Hebrew Brantley was one of our artists there. So we were a big deal back then. And I can imagine, where we would be now. But, things happen for a reason. But yeah, close the baby wipes. Yeah. Yeah,
That is just like really. So sometimes you can't make up those stories, and
you
so
can't.
and 2009 was not a great year either. That was all during the recession. I had a store I opened in 2008, and by 2013 it was like I don't know how I'm going to keep this open again. Everything's attached to your personal. You learn the hard
The
way.
hard way. Gosh,
You learn
that
the hard way not to ever do that again. Um, but so I really can empathize with you around kind of what that felt like to have your baby just go away,
just
and
gone.
just gone. And then, but that adversity turned into Love Corkscrew.
It
So
did.
talk to the audience a little bit about what it felt like creating, like figuring out like what was next for you during that time, because sometimes you can just kind of go in a hole and put your head in a hole and go like, I tried, but it didn't work out. You didn't do that. You pivoted. So let's talk a little bit about that pivoting.
Yeah, it was a difficult time. I mean, I would wake up each morning and just not know what to do with myself. I was depressed. I still was working a full-time job, but it just was I was not in a good place. And eventually I started seeing like, you know what? Why am I sitting here feeling sorry for myself? Because at the end of the day, my heart is still beating. So I still have a purpose to be here. So it was that mixed with everyone bugging me. I would get calls all the time, like, Chrishon, you always know the best wine to bring to a party or a barbecue, or you always know the best restaurant. And people just kept bugging me. So I'm like, all right, I'm sick of answering people's calls. I'm supposed to be depressed right now. But everybody's still looking for me. So I started writing a blog just to escape, just because blogging was becoming popular during that time around 2011. So I said, all right, let me start writing a blog. And the blog was called Love Cork Screw. It was the love section of funny things that would happen in my art gallery and bar. The cork section was my wine picks, my varietal picks and restaurant picks. And the screw section was a wild card talking about pop culture. And I got a good play at it. And people loved the name. So that just elevated to the next step because I was a terrible writer. That SoundCloud was the hottest thing at that time too. All of a sudden, okay, I'm like, I got this radio voice here. Let me do a online radio show. And the radio show was called Love Cork Screw. I had over 4,000 listeners, the exact same topics. And eventually that was my healing, right? That was my therapy and just still talking wine, talking culture, talking things, escaping my depression of losing and not knowing what was next. And it kind of just dawned on me one day. A young lady and I at the time, she was awesome. We were playing flag football together for me to get rid of that aggression that I had. And we came up with starting a wine brand. And it was called Love Cork Screw. And so that was so long ago, but it's just amazing the progression from, being in this four walls, losing it, then getting into to a place where I'm not sure where I'm supposed to go, but now it all making sense. So things, yes, do happen for you, that bad thing does turn into a good thing, and you never know what's next for you. And Love Corkscrew, gosh, been in business since 2014.
Great, great. So you talked about the blog and the radio show. I call uplifting you and giving you that voice again that you always had. Um, and you just talked about playing flag football.
Co-ed flag football, right? I'm always, it's funny. I just think back as a kid, my mom used to say something to me that used to hurt my feelings, but as I got older, it made so much sense. She was like, "You're not great at anything, but you're good at a lot of things." And that was so true, right? In high school, I mean, I was in sports, I was in musicals, I played the piano, I was somewhat of a nerd, a math nerd, I was calculus A, B, everything. So I was just a little bit of everything. So I think that also kind of makes sense to why I became Love Corkscrew, right? I loved people, I loved exploring things, doing different things that people were scared of or didn't make sense. I just dove into something that didn't make sense all
Mhm.
the time. And it just worked for me. Just worked.
Yeah, a lot, knowing a whole lot about a little.
Yes. Yes.
There's a saying, it'll come to me in a second, but there's a saying about that. I know enough to be dangerous, but I guess that at the end of the day, right?
Yep.
So, wow, around the journey around building the brand, I mean, there's not a whole lot of people that can say they've sold that many bottles, 2 million bottles nationwide. And you're in a lot of different stores and online, and you've been able to really amass a market. Well, what's next for you? What do you want to accomplish? What's that next notch on the belt for you?
It's I kind of let things just progress and happen the way they're supposed to. So for years, people have been asking for me to do another collection. They love Corkscrew. It's fun and it fits an amazing market. And it's exactly what I wanted it to be. But they're like, why don't you just create another line, something that's more for, restaurants and upscale venues and things. So I said, you know what? Yeah, but let me take my time. So actually very excited that on Father's Day and out of my father, I am launching the Lampley line. So the Lampley is going to be my upscale varietals. I'm very excited about that. And it's so interesting because I have some large retailers that are interested in it and have asked me for samples already just based off of image. And that is just huge within itself. So I am launching that in June. So I'm very excited about that. And just really taking things to another level in my mentorship because people always ask me, inbox me, text me. I'm always very available as much as I can be to mentor people, to take them through the good, bad, ugly, and indifferent that has happened to me in the past to help them succeed, whether it be in their brand, whether it be something completely outside of wine and just entrepreneurship. So I'm trying my best, and I've launched an e-learning actually that really answers all the questions that people always ask me about how to get started, because there's a lot of people that know a lot about wine, but there's not a lot of people that know a lot about marketing it. And that's where I excel, is the marketing side. There are plenty of people that know way more about the intricacies of wine than I do. But they're always asking me how to market that. And so, yeah, I started ChrishonLampley.com. So I'm just trying to elevate to get to a place that I can retire eventually.
Right. It's interesting because, small brands, the one thing they need the most is marketing.
Exactly.
And that's usually where they don't have enough money to do it in the way that it should be done in order for them to grow their brand and grow their consumer base. But also, the other piece of what you have are the relationship building. And you think about all that you did in the high end fashion retail space, that's all relationship building. And so to me, that's the other piece that I think a lot of the small brands miss.
Absolutely. I mean, I always think about it like old school, right? You could have the hottest mixtape ever, but if nobody hears it, what does it make a difference? But then somebody could have hot garbage, right? But they have the way to market it and it becomes the next one hit wonder.
Right.
So at the end of the day, when you're a CPG, a consumer product good, you got to get out there and be seen. Otherwise, nobody's going to buy it, no matter how great it tastes. So, or how what it is. And also, at the end of the day, nobody's reinventing the wheel. They're buying into you,
Right,
and that's
right,
the piece.
right. And the other thing that's really interesting is how to do that is changing like overnight.
It is.
And the with all of the innovations in technology, the platforms. One platform that used to be the right platform yesterday is not the right
It's
platform.
not now.
And so everything's changing so quickly. You really need someone that or something that's keeping an eye on all of that as you're building your brand, and building your brand by yourself is very difficult. So, um, but it's so sexy and everybody thinks they can do it. So, you know,
It looks so sexy, right? And it's so not. It's so not.
it's rewarding because it's yours. And when you walk through vineyards in California and other parts of the world, it just feels like, oh my God, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. But staying there is not easy. I call it's not for the faint of heart. And if you don't know how to hustle, don't don't
Don't
drop
do it.
it. Don't do it. Um, so good. So you got the Lampley brand coming, and actually, you and I are gonna taste some of that on the vineyard this summer.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's going to be exciting. You guys are going to be have one of the first tastes. Yeah, that's going to be very exciting.
Right. So we're you're going to participate in what I call the sunset crawl, the Sipping Sense Sunset Crawl. It's 3 stops, 3 brands, and I actually happen to have all 3 women this time, which is amazing.
Yay.
Sean's going to be one of those brands. So if you're on island on August 14th, look up sippingsense.com and you'll be able to buy a ticket. And are you doing anything else on island while you're here?
I'm going to try. This will be my first time. So I'm super excited. I am a virgin to the island, so I'm going to be very, very, very excited to be there and hopefully meet a lot of amazing people and do a few things. So we shall see. I'm excited.
Yeah, so it's got that clientele you're looking for the Lampley. So we just have to figure out how to make sure everybody knows you're here. And I see if there's a way for us to get you on maybe the MV television network so that you can expose Love Corkscrew there as well. And then I think it's right at the end of the film festival. So a lot of folks that are here for that will still be here. So there's just a lot going on. I call that week in August. So we'll figure out how to make sure you get it known during that time. And I'm
Love
sure
it.
you'll end up knowing there's a lot of people on island you already know. So
I
I,
look forward to
that
that.
will not be a problem.
Yeah, seeing some familiar faces and meeting some new ones.
Right, right. Okay, so adversity, keep doing what you love. Don't give up. Don't I always say don't give up your day job until you know that your hobby or your new line of business is going to work.
That part.
And just keep taking care of yourself health wise because you can't do anything if you don't have your health.
You cannot day by day and don't overstress things and just think it through. And the bit of advice that I always leave everyone, no matter what they're in, if they're looking for an additional hobby and not sure what to do or trying to become an entrepreneur and get in and start a business, listen to the people around you, right? Ask your friends, what am I good at? Because sometimes things are just so like normal for you and what you excel in that you don't pay attention to what you're great at. So just ask a few family members, ask a few friends, what do you appreciate about? Like, what am I really good at? What could you see me doing? You might be surprised what hidden gem is there that you just overlooked all these years.
Correct, correct. All right, so let's remind the audience on how to get your wines, and then also remind the audience about your educational entrepreneur endeavor that you just kind of dropped into the call today. So and so that we can say thank you, and I'll let you get back to your day.
Yes, please just go to lovecorkscrew.com, lovecorkscrew.com. And if you look on there, you're not only going to be able to find locations by adding your zip code in it, but if we are not in your area in retail stores, you can order online very easily, very easily. And if you order 3 bottles or more, you get free shipping. So simple to order on lovecorkscrew.com. I also have a wine club for those who are interested in a monthly service, quarterly service, by all means. And lastly, if you're looking for education and some e-learning that you can listen to at any time, it's not expensive at all. Go to my name, ChrishonLampley.com, and learn about the business, get some marketing tips, and who knows, you might want to start a wine brand. So ChrishonLampley.com and get some learning.
Well, thank you for giving back. And I wish you all the best. And I'll see you in August at our event on August 14th that you can find on sippingsense.com. Thanks a lot for your time.
Forward to it. Thank you.